CNN's Matthew Chance now has more on the stark images of two Israeli captives released by Hamas and the Palestinian Islamic Jihad. This is the video that they released. We must warn you, his report contains images that you may find disturbing.
The fragile figure of Evyatar David, one of the surviving Israeli hostages still being held in Gaza, now 24 years old and just skin and bone. I haven't eaten for days, he says, in this latest Hamas propaganda video, crouched in a tunnel. There's not enough food and barely enough water. Look how thin I've become, he says. And this here is your brother, right here.
This is
There's two photos of him.
Yes.
Family members have approved use of the images released at the weekend. But his brother Eli told me he could only bear to watch a few solitary frames.
Evyatar was a young, healthy man before he was abducted, even a bit chubby. And now he looks like a skeleton, a human skeleton, buried alive. That's how he looks, and I don't exaggerate.
Do you think he's being starved because there is a shortage of food in Gaza, or do you think he's being starved intentionally by his captors?
I'm sure he's
That's an issue
intentionally.
right now.
I'm sure he's intentionally, cynically being starved by his captors. We know that his captors have plenty of food. They haven't lost a pound, and they are doing the same to their own people, to the people of Gaza. They are starving them, although they have food.
On Israeli television, the newly released videos of emaciated hostages held captive since October the 7th, 2023, are provoking outrage amid calls for negotiations with Hamas to quickly restart. Very quickly. This is 22-year-old Ron Braslavsky, another Israeli hostage shown writhing in pain in his Gaza prison. There's barely anything to eat. I can't sleep. I can't live, he sobs. His own mother, who approved the release of these latest horrifying images, say her son's weak voice sounds like he's accepted he may never come out alive. And now hostage families are calling for renewed international pressure on Hamas, not just Israel, for the agony in Gaza to end.
If they want the people of Gaza to starve, they'll do it. And they are the ones to blame, and we cannot blame only Israel for that. Hamas is holding all of us hostages right now. All of us, the people of Gaza as well. And they need to be out of the picture.
What I'm doing now is digging my own grave, says Evyatar David, as he scrapes at the dirt in his cramped tunnel. Every day, my body becomes weaker and weaker, he says, and time is running out. Matthew Chance, CNN Jerusalem.
And Eli David joins me now from Kfar Saba, Israel. His brother is the hostage in that video, Evyatar David. Thank you so much, Eli, for taking the time to join us. I can't begin to imagine what these horrific days, 630 plus days, have been like for you and your family. I know you saw video, the first proof of life of your brother just a few months ago. It was a savage video, one of the hardest I think I've even covered as a journalist, having followed these hostage families like yours for so many months now, since October 7th, where they were exposed to some of the other hostages at their release, only to be taken back quickly in their torture chambers. And now, a few months later, we see your brother in even worse conditions. Your sister, Yila, addressed your brother in Hebrew over the weekend and said, "Mom is shattered and not functioning. Dad hears your voice at night and doesn't close his eyes, but Eli and I are taking care of them." Can you talk about the strength and the determination of your family to grieve publicly like this, your whole life shattered, while also knowing that with going public, you are speaking not only for your brother, but for so many of these hostage families?
First, thank you for having me. Um, we are shattered, we are broken, but since day one, since October 7th, as we are understanding that Aviatar has been kidnapped, we said to ourselves, we are staying united and we are not losing hope. Although we know it's going to be a very tough roller coaster of emotions, a very long journey, we are staying together and we are not losing hope. If Aviatar survives, if he has faith, we fight until he's home on his feet, healthy and safe.
This video, you say, and I think the world agrees, is a violation of international law. You went on to say it's an assault on every shred of basic human decency, an act so vile it scars the very soul of humanity. Obviously, this is a horrific form of psychological warfare, and there are now renewed pressures on the Israeli government to do more, to agree to a ceasefire deal. We know that Hamas has been the party here that has been avoiding one at this point. And in that interview with Matthew Chance, you also talk about the need to put more global pressure on Hamas. Do you think enough is being done globally by the international community to put that same type of pressure on Hamas?
I don't think so. I don't think so. That's why Hamas pulled out of the negotiations recently. That's why he's using my brother in his twisted, sick experiment on human lives, because he's not pressured enough, because not enough leverages are putting pressure on him. And right now, all the leaders of the world, all the leaders of all nations should stand up together, united, and put every ounce of pressure they can on Hamas. Hamas must be begging for a deal, and they must be begging for a ceasefire, and they must give treatment, proper medical care, and proper food to Eviatar, my brother, right now, because as we saw, Hamas has plenty of food, but they don't give it to the hostages. They are intentionally starving Eviatar, my brother, and all the others. And he can give them food and medical care at any moment, but he is not doing it, and the world must act now before it's too late.
I interviewed Omer Shem Tov a few weeks after his release, after 505 days of captivity. This was before the ceasefire was broken and the blockade was put in by Israel. But at the time, he told me throughout his captivity that he saw that Hamas had stored, that his captives and the terrorists had stored a great deal of food for themselves, and gave him very, very little. It was only ahead of his release that they started to feed him more. I do want to ask you about what we saw from the Israeli Prime Minister over the weekend, where he put pressure in the request for the International Red Cross to do more to get aid to hostages like your brother. We know that there are at least 20 hostages that are still believed to be alive. The International Red Cross says that they can only do so during a ceasefire. There had been pressure from Israelis for the International Red Cross to do more since October 7th. What more do you think they can be doing?
I think first, I want to say that I do have faith in the intention of the Israeli government, and I do believe that all the people of Israel and whoever is a decent human wants the hostages home as soon as possible and wants to save their lives. And I also count President Trump. I count his intentions. I know that he's very, very determined to bring back the hostages and make an end to Hamas atrocities immediately. But right now we have to be focused on saving Eviatar's life, because as doctors are saying, he has days left. In this severe condition of starvation, he's not only suffering a tremendous pain all over his body, he's also can die soon. And the only reason he didn't die yet is because he still has faith. He still has hope. He didn't give up. So we must not give up as well. And we must demand every organization to do whatever it takes to bring the hostages the proper care they need. If it means a short ceasefire to bring the Red Cross to the hostages, so be it. if it means that the captors themselves need to bring a doctor to see my brother and give him food, because we know they have doctors, we know they have food, then shall be it. And we need the proof. We have to see it on our own eyes. That's why the Red Cross are important. We need to see it, and I don't count on the terrorists to give us the proof.